Yo, 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 you already know what it is. You already know what it is. We are back. What's this, fellas? Like episode 5?
5, we rolling.
Yeah. Episode 5. We in the building. Let's make history. Hey, y'all boys ready for this?
Let's
do
it.
All right, let's make history.
Yes,
Yep. All right, so we just gonna go ahead and get right into this, man. Look, man. We've been.
You've been waiting for this.
I've been waiting for this one, man, because we've talked about rappers. We've talked about greatest rappers of all time. And Fresh brought up a point. First of all, I gotta let everybody know who we are, though, who's in the building, who we got in the building. You know what I'm saying? We can't assume that everybody knows yet. So we got L, you know what I'm saying, aka Old Man L in the building.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta run through the river.
We got Fresh, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And I myself go by the name of The Experience. You already know I go by many names, but that's what we're gonna go with right now. So check it out, man. Top 5 lyricists of each era. So when we brought up the fact that we wanted to talk about the top 5 lyricists, Fresh was like, yo, dude, we got to do it by eras or it's going to get ugly. And I was like, you know what? That's a great point. That's a great point because if we just did top 5, bro, like we'd have been in this motherfucker like,
And we would have been narrow.
It'd have been very narrow.
That's the problem with top 5. Stuff is evolving. Old Man River. We got to make sure we include I'm first of all, I'm in that same river with you. Let's be clear. I'm just not all the way in the front of the boat. I'm on that river though. But I mean, I'm in the back. I'm in the back sipping the water while you paddling hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's hard to embrace because of what we love, and it's
right.
It is just fair. You know what I mean? And I think every era goes through that. I don't think young people are reaching back 50 years either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For
50.
I'm just saying it for hip hop. For hip hop's sake, what I'm saying. Yeah. Not for our sake. I'm saying for hip hop's sake. I don't think nobody's going back to Melly Mel. You know what I mean? So
Right. Yeah, I mean, it was very.
What you mean, man? You already trashing Melly Mel. That's one of the
I
guys.
said I don't think none of the young cats going back to Melly Mel.
Yeah, no, but like you said, I think the key word you said was it'd have been too narrow because as I started going through the list, it would have been narrow as shit. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to figure out. You're like, damn, top 5 of all time. Like that's literally it's like damn near impossible because it was hard just even going through the eras.
Right.
Sometimes getting
And
the top
getting
5.
And
Right.
I'm sure
you know what
we
I'm saying?
missed out, you know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Exactly. So, all right, we're gonna start with the 80s, and I was telling L, I think the 80s. I think we might, and I don't know. That's what we're here to see. I think for the 80s we might kind of have some of the same ones. So. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this thing off. So we're gonna go by decades, and then we'll circle around, then we'll keep going.
Let's for everybody, because I'm very critical. So everybody that's getting ready to watch us,
right?
When we say a decade, it is from 1980 to 89.
Right.
So everybody in between, don't can't get caught up in what happened in 88 only. There was stuff that happened in 82. There was stuff that happened in same for the 90s. Don't get caught up in 1994.
Right.
When we had 1999. When we
right.
had
there
was other things.
Because there's a big difference.
There's
there's
a large
yeah.
spectrum in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I think you want to. Well, at least for me, I looked at it like, okay, somebody that was doing it for a good portion of that particular era. So,
right.
So I definitely agree.
Right.
I definitely agree.
Not just one year in that whole decade. No, we
because
talk about the whole era.
Though. There are a lot of Haroliners, J.R. Riders, throwing it off the side of the backboards. That was entertaining and impressive.
Right.
Could you do that all season?
Right.
That's what makes me, that's what, just the preface of what leads me into what I'm saying is, could you do it all season? I loved Harold Miner. I loved Isaiah Wright. It was great to watch. I ain't never seen you after the dunk contest.
Right.
So it's hard for me to say, what, put you in the hearts.
Right.
Gotcha.
And I also wanted to put out there because, people will be really like, when people watch it and people listen, they'll be very critical. Like the top 5, we're not ranking the top 5. It's just the top 5 from that era, but we're not saying necessarily like, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. Because, people will be like, how the fuck you got such and such over?
Right.
It's like, well, chill, relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, so... All right, so for the 80s, I'm just gonna start it off with, I feel like Rakim.
Okay.
It's like you gotta let's start.
Let's go.
We gotta start.
Let's start. The God.
Right,
the God got to.
I mean, lyrically, and then you look at the people he's influenced, because that's a lot of things that I looked at too. Like when you influence some of the greats. So it's like, all right, bet Rakim, Big Daddy Kane.
Okay.
You know,
gotta have Big Daddy.
You see what I'm saying? Like, people don't know, you know, for the youngsters, like you say, you know, like Hov was on tour with Big Daddy Kane. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was
he carried the record.
That was his big homie. You see what I'm saying? So I gotta go with Knowledge Reigns Supreme, you know what I'm saying? Like Chris was just, I mean, you feel me? Like, I mean, you're not even, you feel me?
Yeah.
Like, you're not even gonna be able to go through the 80s without even throwing that out there.
Right.
And then from there, I said Cool G Rap. You know,
absolutely.
Cool G Rap. You see what I'm saying?
That's not there. There's a problem.
Right. It's a problem. Like, because you got to look at, he influenced cats like Nas. He influenced cats like Big Pun.
Street.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Raekwon, Ghost.
You feel me?
You know,
that whole
everybody.
mafioso rap.
Yeah. That whole.
And he's an unknown great. He's one of those unknown greats that people don't check back. You know, it's hard to dig back into the streets history. It's not as internet savvy.
Exactly.
So it's like, damn, where did he come from? Who's his daddy? It's like it's almost like a lost slave. You know, as an analogy, because like, damn, who's his daddy? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to trace the lineage because you know it's not documented.
Yeah,
as well.
especially
you
from the street aspect. Cool G Rap had.
I mean, we talking about Craig G. We talking about what was the name of the whole crew?
With the whole Symphony
Juice Crew,
joint.
the whole Juice Crew. I mean, we talking about the Symphony. We talking about I mean, like you couldn't even say nothing to them. Like there was no there's no, you know what I mean? Like there was nothing going on right there. You know what I'm saying? So
and to round off my top 5, I put LL Cool J.
Okay, all right.
I put LL Cool J. I mean, it's kind of hard to, you know, the 80s. I mean, LL. I mean, it's like
was a monster. LL was a monster in the 80s.
People don't realize, like, a lot of the young cats, you know, you see LL on TV now,
right?
But like LL was like at one point, he was like the guy.
Yeah,
like he was the guy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I don't know that LL was ever the guy in the 80s. Hold on while I'm saying this. Hold on while I'm saying
I'm
this.
listening.
Hold on while I'm saying this.
Fresh gonna always push back. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see.
I'm saying this why. I'm saying this, right? He was always the youngster.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
Yeah. So now, think of any era you know when the youngster's coming up. All right, you a hot young man, but we ain't giving you your credit just yet. He was always, rap right there. Give me a beat. Do da.
Right.
And he would perform on time, but he wasn't the that I don't know that he was the premier based on some of them names you were saying.
Right.
Let's just go with those names you were saying.
Right.
You go to L tried to, I ain't saying tried because he was in a hard era and he was hard. Right. But those cats it just felt differently as hard. L's when he was no rapper could rap quite like that was him trying to he had to prove that I ain't soft, I ain't little. Right. Those cats was like that was what their lane was. Right. L I think really took her to when he started going. He created his own lane of the I won't say R&B, but
we started the girl rap.
Well,
so that's what
I Need Love.
Right.
That right there is probably one of the most influential songs in hip hop.
Yeah.
Because it transitioned from partying and all, and all that. I'm tough, Like I'm gonna rap something for the ladies.
Right. I wasn't discluding that. I was just saying.
Yeah.
My only point was I felt when you said the top, I was like, woo, because of the other names you said. That was what hurt me. And there's some other names too that we haven't said.
Yeah, I mean, so before we get to the honorable mentions, let's go ahead and you go ahead with the 80s.
One of the guys that I got to throw out there, and not more so. We're talking about lyricists, so we're talking about bars and metaphors, punchlines, so on and so forth. But I gotta throw this guy out there because this guy was a monster, man. He won't be mentioned. When you talk about guys, bars and stuff like that, you might not think about him. But I gotta shout out Chuck D, man. Chuck D was,
powerful songmaker.
Very strong.
For me, I have a whole other list of people that are my top 5 for songmakers.
Yeah.
Like, 50 will never make my lyricist category, but songmakers, Jeezy, Rick Ross's, these never make my lyricist list per se, but songmakers, I don't know that there's people better than them that can make a song, can hear a lyric, can hear a beat, can ride the beat, can create it, produce it. I don't know that many people.
And he had a very strong delivery. It was kind of like, he's like your dad talking to you. Like,
it was commanding. It was commanding.
Yeah, it was very, very strong, very powerful. Like I said,
message from the government.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you gotta think, he had some of the most memorable lines, like Elvis was a hero to most, but he never meant shit to me. Right. You know what I mean? Like that's that's like a bar that everyone knows. Like, yo, motherfuck him and John Wayne. You know what I mean?
I feel like that, but I felt Flav's contribution enhanced Chuck.
Oh, absolutely.
I think you don't say Chuck as confidently had Flav never been a part of it.
Yeah. Flav definitely. They were a tag team. You know? They were definitely a tag team. But I just think that he was the Batman. Out of that, he was the Batman, and he was the guy that, you know, Public Enemy through the '80s, man. They were one of the leaders of the '80s. You know, but the '80s is real tough because you got, you know, you have the LL thing. I mean, I think about Rakim. Rakim was just like, he was just different. He was different. It was different. You know, because you think about it, the 80s was kind of loud and
and his flow was
Rakim was mellow. He was chill. Right. You know what I'm saying? He was talking to you. Everyone was shouting at you. Rakim said, nah, I'm going to talk to you. Let me educate you guys. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, Rakim is just something else, dog. That guy was just crazy.
Okay.
Crazy.
So besides those, the other three kind of fell in line for you?
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think that I agree with pretty much that you guys list. And
I got a whole different. I got about three that nobody even mentioned. That for sure.
Oh,
for sure.
Surprise!
Now let me go there.
Okay.
KRS given.
All
there. The Rakims, the Cool G, all, and that's there for me.
Yeah.
Here was the three, two with honorable mention that I didn't hear that I got to throw in there that, for real, one of them I'm about to say is probably in my top two.
Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about.
Ice fucking Cube.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know a fucking battle that
Cube,
tore motherfuckers up more seriously than Ice fucking Cube. The problem was, you know, being East Coast cats, the West Coast wasn't there, but you can't play one Ice Cube record from 1980 to 2020 that does not have nothing but fucking hardcore lyrics. And I still listen to him because I like my era people even when they drop new stuff.
Right.
So it might not be popular, but I'm listening. I'm like, damn, that motherfucker still spitting bars. You know what I'm saying?
Cube was raw.
And he was writing for the whole.
But what MC Ren too. No, MC Ren was right too, but
too.
he was really good. But I still don't think, because of the battles, that nobody on the entire West Coast was better than Ice Cube at all. And then he came to the East Coast and was sitting on the lynch mob and all. He came to the East Coast and laid his nuts down, so to speak, like, yo, what's good? You know, what's up? What y'all want to do? And nobody, I have yet to ever hear anybody say that they can say they really squashed him in a beef. Ever. I got to put him close to my top two. Not Common. Don't you say Common. Don't you dare say Common. Common was good. Yeah, a Muslim drinking brew. I mean, I definitely love that. I definitely loved it, but I don't think that.
Well, that's in the '90s. We'll have to wait till that. But
now,
Cube for sure. Absolutely.
Cube. Right now, here goes my rounding out my fifth, or not in no order particular, but my fifth and my honorable mentions. Slick Rick.
Okay. Yeah.
Fucking lyricist of the 80s? What? Tell me a Slick Rick song that you don't know all the way through.
All the way through.
Most of those cats we named, they were so street, because we were young, we may not even know all of that shit was going on. Slick Rick all the way fucking through.
Slick Rick.
All the way fucking through.
Slick Rick.
All the way fucking through.
Storytelling.
All the way fucking through. Now, my honorable mentions, because battling and just lyrics, because he got beat, I guess, to the world, but lyrically wise, Unstoppable with 80s, Kool Moe D.
Very true.
Yep.
And fucking MC Light.
Drops
the fucking mic. Drops the fucking mic.
Ladies,
MC Light, because we ain't talking about ass shaking somebody ghostwriting. We're talking about we'll bust your ass if you want to come around here rapping with us. Jump on anything, anything, and you're going to respect this. Georgie Porgy, anything.
Old man L is proud of you.
Look. I told you I'm in the back drinking water. I'm in the back drinking. I just not paddling the boat, baby. Just not paddling.
Hey, you know what? That's a great point. before we started everything, one of the topics that I did want to talk about, eventually I wanted to do like a female rappers. Like I feel like we need to do like a whole like female rapper joint because I feel like it's a lot of people that don't understand, you know, like the history and some of the dopest ones. Right. But before we do that, we get into that, we do want to take a quick break for the sponsors just to let y'all know what's going on and how we are making this happen. Definitely shout out to the Inner Elite Network. And, you know, without them, we wouldn't be able to put this out to the world, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to the other sponsors that's making this happen real quick. Okay.
But now, to your point about the ladies, just a quick segment on it before we go to the 90s. I feel like the history with ladies rappers, for the most part, is like we were talking about the Harold Miners and stuff like that, the longevity. You weed out to only about 4 or 5, for real, even though there was hundreds of them.
Right.
When we talk about longevity, you weed out to about 4 or 5 that really you can listen to. Right. In different eras and decades.
Yeah.
And say, okay, blah, blah, blah. Because some of them just literally got lost in that one time and had a great dunk, threw it off the backboard. Good, you know what I mean? So, got to be careful of that.
Yeah, true.
All right.
Okay.
Good 80s.
So, yeah, man. Nah, that's Slick Rick and Ice Cube. Those were both
cute,
like stunners. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Too.
Like, you know, like as far as that I didn't even like think about when coming, it's like, damn, like you say, Slick Rick, like you can throw Children's Story on in the club and the whole and people, like you say, sing the whole song. Right. Like we know it word for word. Yeah. You feel me?
And like I said, when you start thinking about, you know, he transcended to the 90s with the show, with the Aquemini albums,
exactly.
to the 2000s on They Do Pre's joints. Yeah. Like, he's still to this day, West Side Gun, literally him and Busta Rhymes just dropped a song.
Right.
That's fire. Right. Fire.
Right.
So that's the point I'm making about him.
So
and shout out all the other 80s legends.
Absolutely.
Queen Latifah's and
Heavy
D's.
Man.
Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So,
Melly Mel's, even though y'all was trying to.
That's a 70s. Hold on. Wait. I got to say
Curtis
this.
Blow.
This is the guy right who probably never made it to the league, but the Dr. J, the best ABA, Lord Finesse.
Okay.
Was he in the 80s or the 90s?
He might have came right in 90, 91. He straddled, but he was there of the 80s. He was of the 80s, but he didn't make it to the league because the league changed and he didn't conform or whatever. But Lord Finesse, when we just talking about, because this is of the Big L lineage, the Big Pun lineage. That's where these people stem from. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right. So I feel like, man, with these 90s, man, it's gonna be.
It's going to be tough because everybody here is a 90s.
Oh, man.
90s
so I'm just going to go ahead and pop this thing off, man. Like I say, in no particular order. And I think with the 90s, I don't think it's a situation where obviously you can't go wrong with any of the names that we say, especially all of us kind of being of that same lineage. So I'm going to pop it off, man. We was having a conversation. Me and DB was having a conversation a couple of days ago. I'm just going. This is the first person I'm gonna say, man, is Snoop, right?
Wait, Snoop. We talking about lyricists?
Lyricists.
Snoop. Okay.
Snoop, because people don't understand. Like when we talking about when the Chronic hit, we talking about Deep Cover. We talk about the Chronic.
This is very true.
Like we got to
talk about the 90s. This is
right.
Very true and mentionable. Right? We ain't talking about the entire. Yeah, we talking about the 90s.
We talking about that started that popped the whole decade off. That popped the decade off, right? Okay. Snoop, and what he was doing, and then writing for Dre as well. Like lyrically, like Snoop was that guy. Now, as far as towards the tail end of the 90s, you know, once he got with No Limit is a little different. But that first, I would say the first half of the 90s. But then will also, because Snoop is still relevant to this day. But that's a whole nother story. All right, so we got that one out of the way. I gotta go with L's, man. You know what I'm saying? Nasty Nas. You know what I'm saying?
I think he's gonna be in all hours. I feel like he'll be in all hours.
Right. I mean, he's got to be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're talking about he's one of the top lyricists ever, if not the top lyricist ever. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Arguably, so you can't go through the 90s without mentioning Nas.
The argument with him not always crushing it is. He played for he played for the Wizards. You know, with your career when you don't. I'm saying about the analogy of Jordan. You know, he got a bunch of rings, but you can look back and say, "Damn, you played for the Wizards." And you kind of like. There's some albums that people will be definitely like, "Fuck, what's going on?" And when that happens, it crushes the a unanimous decision. That's all I'm saying. Like the unanimous.
L's like, L's like,
you can't tell me you cannot tell me every Nas album is at least 4. There's a lot of 3s and 2s in Nas's catalog, a lot. So and there's a lot of 5s. There's a lot of 5s.
We just got into the 90s.
Right, I told you it's gonna be.
Man, go ahead. I ain't stopping it. Go ahead.
So,
I just saying what stopped him from being unanimous. That's all. I love Nas. He's definitely my top 3 for sure. But I mean, unanimous.
All right, go ahead.
So,
go ahead.
All right. Nas, man. I mean, lyrically, man. Like he set the tone for really in the 90s. He set the tone for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Especially coming out of New York.
Yeah.
He was the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Illmatic was that right there was the standard. Just from a not just from a lyrical standpoint, but like even the story, just getting descriptive. Just man. You can Big, Hove. I mean, not to jump ahead, but everybody knew that. Okay, Illmatic is like, okay, things changed.
Yeah, that was it.
Things changed from that point onward. Point onward.
Agreed. The 90s was just so multi-layered.
Yeah. Right.
That even that is the truth. 100%. There's no disagreeing with that. There was a lot of standards that was set in the 90s.
Right.
A lot.
Oh yeah.
And from lyricists as well.
Very true. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna talk about a couple guys.
So obviously, like you say, the notorious one. You know, B.I.G. I mean, lyrically, man. I mean, this just crazy, man. Monster. Lyrically, it was just like. Dude was on a whole nother level, man, and like I think we mentioned before, you know, he came at a time to where, you know, like Nas had dropped, but then it was like it wasn't as Illmatic didn't hit like mainstream. It didn't get the mainstream success, like you said. It put everybody on notice, like that. This is the guy, and lyrically, this is the new standard. But when Big came, you know, it had gone out to the West Coast, and so Big had brought it back to the East Coast and was just dropping shit that ready to die.
Big,
go ahead.
I was gonna say Big turned it because when you think about hip hop prior to, it was more so streets, you know, keep it rough and gritty. You had a couple guys that stepped out of it. LL,
you saying prior to Big?
Yeah. Big. What I'm saying is that when Big came. The ante was up. Now, before it was kind of like, platinum, you're selling out, Once Big came, you had to go platinum now. Now you had to go multi. Now you had to talk that real fly shit. Big was so good because he gave you that real, that street shit, like, damn, Big chill. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was very vivid with his shit. But then he'll drop a Big pop and he'll drop a
One more
like,
chance.
all right, man, after I just finished robbing somebody, I'm going to go to the club right now. And you know what I'm saying?
That's the credit to Puff.
Yeah. Puff, Puff.
No Puff, Big never gets
right now.
Puff, Puff. That's a whole nother conversation because there's a lot of guys that didn't necessarily.
The Chuck Deep thing too, but the Chuck and Flavor, that was always the
You know
what I mean, same thing.
But there's a lot of guys that, real quick about Puff. There's a lot of guys that weren't necessarily MCs that had a huge influence. You got Puff, you got Russell Simmons, you know, you got you know, just guys that weren't artists, but they just orchestrated everything. But Big.
Yeah.
So that was who you round out with your?
That was 3. That was 3.
Okay.
I mean, Hove, man. I mean, come on, y'all. I mean, come on, man. Like, you know, once Reasonable Doubt dropped in '96, it was pretty much a wrap after that. I mean, because you're talking about, even though, I mean, he was around before then.
Hold on, though. Are we saying Hove of the '90s?
I think you gotta put it in there.
And fuck with me, you know what I'm saying? Because that's you know what I'm saying. But listen,
to be argued.
So okay,
to be argued,
96. Let's look
of the '90s.
I'm definitely argued. Hove of the '90s. 96.
To be argued.
96. Reasonable Doubt. Classic album.
Not then.
Classic.
Then.
Okay, but still,
I
lyrically, we talking about. We're not talking about.
I loved it.
But we talking about lyrically. We just talking about lyrically.
In 1996.
Lyrically in 1996.
People better than Hove's Reasonable Doubt in 1996. Even on mixtapes, that's how hard that era was.
Right.
But as a lyricist, though,
Lyricist.
Out the gate.
All I'm saying is from 1990 to 1999.
Right.
This is what the argument is. This is no argument. Right. Ho is undoubtly top 5 from for 3-4 decades. That's not an argument.
So that's my point.
The 90s though.
You got your 5, and I'm gonna give my argument. 96 with Reasonable Doubt. 97 with
Streets is Watching.
Streets is Watching and Volume 1.
That's what really did him. None of those Volume 1s, none of the other things. It was the Streets is Watching.
And Volume 1 is slept
that
on.
helped him.
Yeah. Like Volume 1
wasn't
was
that
slept
good.
on.
It wasn't that good.
Listen,
That's why.
if you go through the track list of Volume 1, the biggest knock with Volume 1 is everybody's always like the Sunshine video. If you listen to the Sunshine, the song itself is dope. It's dope.
I love how it just wasn't. This wasn't. The '90s was so grand that Hov did not get his big shine in the '90s. His music was timeless, so that means you can revert back. Let me tell you what. I don't know that. I mean,
listen, because even with that, like you got 96 Reasonable Doubt. Like 97 Streets is Watching and Volume 1. 98 Volume 2.
Neither of these albums went gold at the time. Neither.
No, they did. Reasonable
Doubt
went gold. What you call it went platinum. Volume 1 went platinum.
Well,
in the 90s.
Out the gate.
Hard Knock Life came out in 99. Yeah. This is when you got to give Hov his credit. Because the Hard Knock Life in 97,
came out in 98.
98. Okay, this is when you
got to give 5.
This is when you got to give him his credit. Because that is weird. The early 90s, his consistent grinding from 94 to 98 paid off. But then all before, he was on the bench. 90, when Hard Knock Life came out, he was the motherfucking starter. And that's the only reason I would say the 90s. I can give you the 90s, but it's just tough because the early 90s where you were going, I would say he rode the bench a little bit more. When that Hard Knock Life came out, he hit his number and it was undeniable.
But once that's what I'm saying. Once he came in, it was like 96, 97, 98, 99. Like, so, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I said with Snoop, it was more of the early 90s. When Hov came through, the impact that he had them last 4 or 5 years of the 90s, it was like
I could agree because the Hard Knock Life tour was
yeah. And then too, he was active. Once he got started, he was dropping albums every year for almost 20 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He set the blueprint for that. He's like, y'all will never get tired of me. I don't care if you do or not. I'm gonna still be here.
He was putting out heat every year. Yeah. So you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
and killing the mixtapes.
Putting out relevant music every year.
Right.
That's why he's so great. Right. Because it's hard to put out relevant. People be dropping. There's a lot of people in his era dropping music.
Right.
It's not relevant all the time.
Yeah.
So to round out my top 5, I still feel of the 90s. I looked at it. The run was crazy. And I had to put him in this era was 3 Stacks, Andre 3000. You know what I'm saying? That's who I went in there to round it out. I mean, because Outkast, the first album dropped like 94. So you're talking about from the first Outkast album to the second to AT Aliens to Aquemini came out in 98.
Right.
That was, that run, you know what I'm saying, was crazy. And at that time, like we still look at pretty much that run is what we still look at as far as when we talk about 3 Stacks and like wanting him to be like, damn, he never dropped a solo rap album. I ain't talking about, you know what I'm saying, the Love Will Blow. Yeah, I'm not talking about that. Like, it was that run that made us be like, damn. Like, this dude is arguably, like, he could be one of the greatest ever. Right.
He didn't try to be what you wanted him to be.
Right.
And it was still performing well.
Right.
That's what makes you great.
Right.
When you don't try to conform to what other, you didn't try to be Jay-Z, you didn't try to be Nas, Hope. He said, listen, y'all going to take this shit how I'm giving it, goddammit.
Right.
And y'all going to love it.
South got something to say.
And we loved it. And we loved it, every bit of it.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, you named a lot of guys that I agree with. One name I want to add out there who I think, again, from the beginning of the 90s all the way to the very end, that was extremely consistent, is Redman.
Oh, I'm glad you said him. I'm so glad you said him because I was arguing with him. I was like, he was like the next on my list.
Redman, that's another dude.
The problem I had with Redman is he didn't evolve. The same sound from What's My Name to $5 on the bill on the ground, pick it up. It sounds same every year.
But you know what? For me, I look at Redman and then I look at what followed him. You can say guys like Eminem. Kind of.
Yeah,
you know, they're from that tree.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Ludacris. They're from that humor. That he wasn't going to give you no heavy content. However,
lyrically,
the dude was just a monster. You know what I'm saying? His bars, his punchlines, like everything was just The dude was just crazy. Like there were certain guys, like if you knew he was going to get on your song,
he was going to fuck it up.
Yeah, you might have to rewrite your joint.
Busta
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Busta.
Yeah.
Those are guys that once they got on your song, it's like, all right, man, I got to make sure that I bring it because this dude is
all of them minus Busta Rhymes, what we just said, all got pigeonholed into never growing to their fans, so to speak. You know what I mean? M maybe because of white fans, but the rest of them that we named all kind of got, like the Redman fan, you just got to be a Redman fan. You didn't grow into new Redman fans. You didn't, it's hard to grow into what does not show any growth. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's just sounding like this, if you're going to look for this, if you're going to look for boom bap, you're going to go there. If you're looking for any kind of growth outside of boom bap, same difference between Jay-Z or Nas album versus Redman. They all been rapping the same amount of time. Red got music right now. It's just really,
that's still fire.
It's just really boom bapish. It doesn't. Jay can get you to a different couple of levels. So can Nas. You know what I'm saying? So, but definitely for the '90s, 1,000,000%. There's no from 1990 to you know what I mean to What's My Name on 1999. So yeah, for sure.
He was definitely doing it. Let me see. I gotta throw Scarface out there. Scarface is so underrated, and I just think that that's a guy that, again, the storytelling, the vividness, talking about the streets, talking about just he was just a guy that was respected on the East and the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Like he had songs with everybody on both coasts. Back then,
absolutely.
He was very respected. A MC from the South, but he was just, I don't think he gets enough credit for his influence on the game.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But Scarface is. I had to throw him out there as kind of one of the honorable mention guys, but definitely a legend. Definitely.
I got about 3.
Well, okay, so hold up. Before we got to make sure we take a quick break to let y'all know, for the sponsors out there, man, we appreciate y'all. And Let's Make History, brought to you by the Inner Elite Network and everybody else that's been so, we're grateful, we'll say that, as far as the sponsors, to make sure that we make this happen. We get them a quick shout out real quick.
So, speaking of 90s, again, this is why I prefaced of 1990 to 1999, because there's some cats that I don't know when I really need to give them their props. I don't know if it's between 99 to 09, like, right at the edge, because they really, some cats that really didn't really represent the entire 90s that really are high ranking in mine. So I'm going to keep them for the 2000s just based on that.
Okay.
Just
we
based
had
on
that
that.
too. No, I got you.
There's some cats that I really got to put out there, like really, really do. And there's no way I would never talk about lyricists and not put them out there, but I don't know if I can get them as early as 1991, 2, 3 to even mention them for that. You know what I'm saying?
I think we might be hitting on some of the same people with that one.
So now by 90s though, that I didn't hear for sure would be my boy Ghostface or Ray. I got it. If we just make them one person, because their influence on again coming from that lineage of the Cool G Raps, the Master Aces, this lineage that was a heavy lineage for me. There was nothing else that I even entertained. So when we talk about Purple Tapes and we talking about Wildflower, I mean we talking about oh my god, I just can't explain.
The Purple Tape was crazy, bro.
I can't explain how big of the Wu-Tang album, when you just every single thing them boys ever did for me was like, oh my god, there's nothing else that I could understand that we couldn't.
It was hard. It was hard for me, like you say, because like none of the Wu-Tang were on the list, but it was like they all popped up, and it's like, man, I think we might have to do a whole show. And you could do a whole show just on the Wu-Tang alone. I think I did have that as one of the topics, but yeah, go ahead.
Pun.
Yes, that was one of the
big. Now I can't. Obviously, he wasn't around from 90 to 93, but from 94 to 99
until he passed.
There is not a lyricist I know.
It was heavy
that can absolutely step toe to toe with Big Pun. I mean, I don't know anybody on any feature, on any realm of the perspective. Nobody. I don't know any. I mean, on a good song, you want to wild up? You want to dance? I give you anything. Anything. I mean, and then speaking a different language.
Pun was crazy, bro.
I don't know anybody that did something different.
Pun was crazy. His flow, his delivery, the shit he was saying, you was like, God damn it.
To his Redman point, mine was meth.
Yep, I'm glad you said that.
Again, the Wu-Tang, these three, because they all branched off, it didn't even seem that they were one. It was like, man, did you hear Meth? Did you hear this? I mean, You All That I Need right now is something that came out in 1994. You can play right now.
Right now.
It's going to give you the chills.
Yep.
Not just because it's a taken from something from the 70s, because it is part of that. But that was part of the culture that they said, all right, we're going to bring some history to this. We're going to add the 90s, because this is what the 90s represented at that time.
Yep.
They were saying, we love old school culture. We love this, but we got a grit to us.
Yep.
And this, you're going to love this grit. And then he brought people like Mary around that made you feel like, ooh, this is a fucking killer.
Yeah.
Now, he did not age after 99.
Right.
I gave him all the way up to about 98. 98, 99. After that, it didn't age. But rightfully so, he went to acting. He got bigger checks.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But I don't think musically... And he came back now with he's back with some hardcore hip hop and stuff. But I think that around the 2000s, it just wasn't the pre-cal. And I love the pre-cal. He did a couple of joints that I love.
I think his features. He has some pretty good features.
Which makes it
but as far as album wise, I get you.
Nah, because I mean, you can listen to a Meth verse right now and him spitting. You be like, yo, Meth still spitting.
Meth still got
it. You know what I'm saying?
Eras change. So to the Redman point, if you don't grow, all I'm doing is looking for you when I need boom back. When I need that feel, I'm gonna throw you in. But I don't throw you all the time anymore because I'm growing. I'm not 18. I'm not 28. I'm not 38. I'm So
he was honestly, fam, like Meth for a stretch of time. He was my favorite member of the Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just like Meth is just he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like you say lyrically, he was the one.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now this is just my honorable mentions. Yeah. Women in West Coast. Mm-hmm. We don't. It's hard to always bring these stuff in we don't always bring them up because they in our top 10s, but we don't speak of them so highly. Mm-hmm. Lauryn Hill.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck?
Lauryn Hill.
That goes the MC Lyte lineage directly next.
Lauryn Hill is one of the greatest what ifs in hip hop
ever.
What if she still stayed on that same trajectory? Because she had bars. She could sing.
Man.
She was just so fucking dope, man.
Yeah, man.
And it just
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
And she got credit for doing 90% of the writing.
Yeah.
The reason I couldn't bring Foxy and Kim up as bad as I wanted to is because whether it's true or not, the rumors is there's a lot more ghosts.
We know.
Not to say they never wrote a hot bar.
Right.
I didn't say that about them, and I love them. But
Right.
there's not enough evidence to say that they wrote as much that Lauryn had wrote for herself. You can hear Lauryn all in her. You can hear somebody else sometimes depending on what the beat is and over here.
We know.
And
Big
those women
are Kim.
Them women are great. I love them. I love Lil Kim and Foxy. Are the 90s.
Foxy. That's why I said we got to do a whole topic on just the females.
But if I just said who was the best lyricist of the 90s,
Lauryn Hill.
Because you could put her up against any of the people we
men.
The
men.
Lauren's pen game was serious.
The men. Now, for the 90s West Coast, you went Snoop. This has always been me. These two cats right here, and even if you look at their features back in the day, you'll see that just based on that. Now, maybe not albums because it didn't get played as much, but just straight lyricists. Exhibit and E40 were my top West Coast cats. I really E40 too. And
now Exhibit, I'm with.
And Razzcat,
And
Razzcat. I'm just talking about strictly break. Because E40 is come out so fast, you got to break it down to hear it. But once it's broke down, you're like, oh shit, he's saying some shit. Like he's saying some shit.
Cleve. When they did the 40 and short verses. I just so happened to be, at Cleve's crib. We was having a meeting, and so Cleve is from the Bay, so. I was grateful to be able to be in that situation to be watching that verses with him because I wouldn't have had the same experience because he from the Bay, so he know all of these songs. All of the songs are short and E40 dropping. You know what I'm saying? He knows them word for word.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the things with 40 is that what we don't recognize and realize is the shit that he was saying, like how many trends he set, like lyrically. Because I saw, you know what I'm saying, L was kind of like, wait, 40? You know what I'm saying?
He might not have been their T, but I was such a purist. I used to dig, because I just wanted to hear what you were saying, so I can clown you. So if you ain't saying shit, I can easily say
40, man.
But I could never say that about. I actually bought his tape. Sprinkle Me was a huge, monumental joint for me.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on a lot of joints from the '90s that I absolutely can say damn, that was a dope bar. He dropped dope.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know the bars that are whack. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For me, the other stuff that I heard. Now, I'm not saying that I know all his music.
Yeah,
but from everything I've heard, it's not like I can say, damn, 1 out of 10 are all I heard. I can't say. Neither would Exhibit either.
Right.
Exhibit pounds the mic.
Right.
I mean,
another guy that
Beats the
if he gets a feature on
Right.
your joint,
he's gonna beat your shit up. I mean, like it's some shit. You like, God damn, how did nobody write another verse after that?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Last honorable mention.
Yeah.
Sticky Fingers of the Onyx.
Sticky Fingers is a very underrated MC. Very underrated. Yeah, I definitely agree with you
Straight
on
lyricist.
that. Yeah,
Lyricist.
yeah, definitely.
Just got lost in the sauce after the whole slam and it just not growing. Not growing.
It was like that same vibe.
Yeah, just not growing.
Real quick, I gotta throw a name out there, and I think this is going to be the first of guys that what's the word I want to use that had they stamp in multiple eras.
Okay. Yeah.
I gotta throw LL Cool J back
For
in the 90s because this guy.
That's what. I think he reigned supreme.
LL Cool J
reigned supreme.
Yeah, LL Cool J had a run that is only a handful of guys can match his run. But in the 90s, LL was still putting out classics.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was putting
from
out
90
from 90
on.
on. Mama said knock you out.
Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, so we can just name.
That's why it was hard for me in the 80s because of the 90s. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same
No,
thing.
I get you.
There's some other
can
rappers
argue, I think you can argue that he probably his best music
started in the 90s.
That's totally. You had to. You was about to say his best music came out in the 90s.
I think,
and you might not be wrong.
Yeah. I think
I Need Love came out in the 80s.
Yeah, I Need Love. You got, I'm Bad.
Rock the
It's
Bells,
Jingling
that came
Baby,
out in the
Radio.
80s.
Yeah,
Jingling Baby.
that
a lot
was
of 80s
Jingling
classics.
Babies.
Yeah.
Hard.
80 classics.
Yeah.
A lot of 80
But
classics.
then, like, from
Pink
90s
cookies in the plastic bags.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but
I think that was
90s.
90s.
That was 90s. But I mean, you got Roundaway Girl. You got Mama Said Knock You Out.
Roundaway Girl was so
You got
fucking
4, 3, 2, 1 when he was the first guy. There's a lot of GOAT talk. He was. To my knowledge,
he said it.
He was the first guy that come up with the
Cool J,
GOAT.
baby, greatest of all time.
And he had an album called GOAT. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
I was gonna mention that.
Yeah, Hov actually was trying to get at him for the longest because he felt that L was the crown.
L was the guy.
But because the social media and the internet world changed, and L was no longer like it wasn't like if you were hardcore, you knew it, but because of the world, like he was in the house. He, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what changed his whole. A lot of rappers, meth, like it just changed. What's nothing wrong with that because they weren't getting paid there.
Right.
I just can't be the most talented motherfucker not getting paid. Somebody got to pay me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Exactly.
I get that.
I think that's a good point. What you just said when you said meth, like. That with the All I Need, that's LL Cool J set that standard. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There would be no All I Need without LL doing I Need a Girl.
I
You see what I'm
love.
saying?
Yep.
So I mean, I Need Love.
I know what you're talking about.
So okay. So we go to the 2000s and we're talking about some of the people, like when you just mentioned some of the people that cross eras.
Clicking off the millennium.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and pop it off. You know what I'm saying? With Hov.
Yeah.
Like because I said like Hov in the 90s, but then in the 2000s, like it was he upped the ante.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the 2000s because you had
Hov is such an unfair fucking advantage, man. He's going through too many fucking eras. That's too many years, too many damn things that you can really say.
like because he dropped the Volume 3 came out at like the end of 99.
99, right.
So boom, 2000. So
Trash.
you think, oh man, so both of y'all think Volume 3 is trash.
What was one of the songs?
The first half for me is dope. The first half, he had joints on there, but then like you got some of the joints like with the Mariah and then some of the joints with Emil. Like it's kind of like, I get it. But that's another topic because I feel like that album got bootlegged. That album got bootlegged, and I feel like if it wouldn't got bootlegged, then we may have gotten a different Volume 3 because this is coming off of Volume 2.
Right.
But one of the,
right.
you know what I'm saying? But this dude said in the intro, Mike Jordan of rap, outside Jay working. Now watch how quickly I drop 50. Now, all right, for the young people that might not understand that, right? That's a double entendre. So that line, those two lines mean two total absolute things, right? So you got, from one standpoint, 50 had came out with the How to Rob and everything. 50 was kind of getting at everybody so he can get on. And so Jay addressed it in his own way. In that album, he also said, I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 cents? But in those two lines, Mike Jordan of rap, outside Jay working. Now watch how quickly I drop 50. So that's a shot at 50. But then you go the other way, Mike Jordan of rap, outside Jay working. Now watch how quickly I drop 50, as in my outside jumper is working. I'm the Mike Jordan of rap, and I'm about to drop 50 points. Like, come on, man.
Hold on. And triple entendre, because his name is Jay-Z.
It's Jay, exactly.
So
like,
not just double. Outside, Jay's
working. Exactly.
The one thing I will say about Jay, and I don't know if there's any other rapper that I feel this way. He's the master of, you hear something maybe, let's say 5 years after the fact, and he'd be like,
exactly.
Like,
exactly.
I've had that feeling like, oh snap, that's what that dude was talking about. Yeah, Jay.
Exactly.
And that's really that thing right there. It's for Cuban links only for the term and analogy, because everybody doesn't get it. Some people do not grow with Jay. Some people like, man, that nigga, what the fuck? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
But for those that like, yo, I've been reading, it ain't that what he said. It was just like, I'm in another place.
Exactly.
How the fuck Jay got to the? Oh shit, my rap is saying the same. Like, you start thinking that, damn, I'm getting old, I'm getting da. Then you hear the coolest nigga on earth say some shit that you be like, oh man, he's investing, he doing this.
Exactly.
He just said he bought a stock. Oh,
right.
Okay.
Right.
And one of the things I want to say about Jay during the 2000s is that I think you saw the growth of his music. My favorite Jay album is Blueprint, the first Blueprint. And I just think from there you saw how it went from, money, cash, holes. It went from Big Pimp, and it just went to like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to mature a little bit. There's some real things out here.
Right.
And he just the guy just dominated that whole era.
The whole era. I mean, you got, like you say, 2000, from 99 to 2000.
dropped Rush the Throne. That was the end of the year.
Dynasty, which, like you say, boom, Dynasty. Then Blueprint 2, Black Album. You know what I'm saying? Took a break. Came back, Kingdom Come,
I love
but
Kingdom
then,
Come.
And what you call it was
let's
still
not forget he battled Nas.
He battled Nas, you know what I'm saying?
And then dropped Watch the Throne.
Yeah.
And then dropped Watch the Throne.
Well, no, Watch the Throne was in the 10s. Is it?
I thought it was 2010.
No.
That was 11, 12.
Okay, I was about to say, that's what I thought. I was like, damn, he dropped it right at the end of that joint.
Right.
Okay.
So, all right, so then I got Kanye, you know what I'm saying?
Lyricists?
Kanye. Bro. You just sat up here and said on the
I
past
love Kanye.
shows that Kanye, as far as album wise, he had the first 4 albums was classic.
Absolutely.
Kanye was writing those songs. Kanye was writing lyrically.
There's subject to say that a lot of his lyrics were also pieced together by others. Now I don't know if that's not true.
I think in the later year, I think towards, you know what I'm saying, but like Kanye,
I know Kanye's first album sounds nothing like all Kanye. I can say this his second. Third and fourth, I can see transcending to different people, because you had Kid Cudi's coming in. You had a lot of people on the low, side-highs. There was a lot of people that people did not know wrote for Kanye and really pieced it. I'm not saying that they literally just said, here you go, but there was thousands of people that was the influence for Kanye's after album 3 and 4.
I think there's
a lot of these cats that get credit for Kanye.
You gotta, that's absolutely your point, but I think that's more so once we get to the 10s. But in the 2000s, like you say, we gotta talk about, like you say, college dropout, late registration, graduation. Then was Kanye.
Graduation,
and then
from
the
what
features.
I heard, had a lot of like when you started look at the first 2 albums, then look at the second one, you can see the features. The features is when people started writing, because now it's not about I'm doing triple double now. I'm producing, I'm engineering, I'm this.
Yeah, Kanye,
so have to worry about being as lyrical as I had to be, because nobody took him lyrically seriously. Damon, you good, you cute, but you're gonna do these beats. You cute. They put him with Cam. They always put him with somebody like, all right, this is where you might be. If you don't shine over here, you're not gonna get no real shine.
But I do think that his skill set, his skill level did improve. As the albums went. Now, of course, Kanye, to me, I look at him like kind of like a Dr. Dre. He's a composer.
Right.
So he's the guy that gets the right people in the room and puts things and creates magnificent product. But I do think that, to your point, that, he definitely improved, and he said some things.
It's great.
Yo,
this is not a bashing.
But
I'm saying that
as a lyricist,
it sounded like it, because when I said Kanye, you was like, Kanye?
Because I was thinking people wrote I was coming from a mindset that people were making the music for him as well.
There's always that.
That was where I was coming from. I wasn't saying that we were taking away from them. I was saying like Kanye, like damn, people wrote for Kanye. A lot of people wrote for Kanye. That kind of diminishes a lot of times for pure lyricists. That diminishes it sometimes. That's all I was saying.
Yeah.
That's what I meant by that.
No, I got you. I tell you what. I know somebody didn't write for him. I can't complain what an accident did to my left eye.
Look what an accident did to left eye. Absolutely.
First Aaliyah, now Romeo Must Die. Come on, man.
I never took it.
Jesus Christ.
Don't make me.
I know I got angels
don't
watching
make me
me
use
from
him
the
as
other
an
side.
analogy as a Harold Miner. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to have to use him as an analogy as a Harold Miner. Like, all right, well, you had a great bar, but that's what Dame and Jay all them like. Oh, he said it plenty times. They gave me that the Miracle Whip.
Right.
Right. But after that, it's like, all right, whatever.
He said the rest of it was wet.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? So like, yeah, we can all. He can definitely, especially as hard as he was trying to go, because you're trying. That's like trying to impress. Well, ain't no trying to. You're trying to impress Jay-Z.
Right.
So if they let you in the fucking office, you're going as hard as you can every fucking day. Now, once you've already got to that plateau where they're already giving me $1 million checks, he didn't have that same lyrical hunger throughout the entire 2000s.
No, I feel
for what I was saying about that. Yeah, not producing hunger, engineering, making albums,
just making
a great song.
Yeah,
oh my fucking God, we ain't arguing on that one. Yeah, we're not arguing on that.
I got you.
He was definitely there.
So before we go to the I think number 3 in the 2000s for me, like I say, wanted to take a quick break so we can shout out to sponsors, shout out to the Inner Elite Network and everybody that's making sure that Let's Make History happen, yo. We showing y'all love because y'all showing us love.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm waiting to hear a couple.
Right. So from there now I got to go to
Mike has got a real long there's a lot of the same in your playlist.
Look, well, so all right, for number 3, Wayne. I gotta go Wayne. 2000. You gotta go. We had this conversation, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is when he really started
showing his ass.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
He did it in 98, 99ish, because that's when Hot Boys was all out.
Right.
No,
but I don't count I don't really count that. But
Mm-hmm.
when we started really respecting Wayne as a lyricist is the mixtape Weezy and like the Carter, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's when it was just like, yo, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude is like, wait.
You know what, Wayne, it kind of like he grew up in front of your eyes because
he
you know
did.
Well, he grew up with us. He's our age.
Yeah.
So he was one of the people like, that was my boy.
But you know, it's kind of like when you look at a kid, you can look at a kid that's like 10 and he's like short. Then by the time he's 17, he's like 6'5". You're like, oh shit, this kid grew up. I think Wayne, you know, his pen game just grew significantly.
Yeah, absolutely.
It went from, you know, the Hot Boys. It was kind of okay, yeah. But then, you know, Carter 2 and all the mixtapes with drama and all that came out. Yeah, it was like it was one stretch. He was on like what 100 songs in like
he was making his own songs. The mixtape, Don Cannon.
No, but I mean, but like features. He was on like 100 songs
and
or
not
something
missing,
crazy
and
like
not
that.
missing
at all.
Not missing.
Yeah.
So in order for the 100th person to take you, they have to be that confident that 99 of them went in. Shit, I don't give a damn. I'm going for the 100.
Wayne was killing everything. And you knew when Wayne got on it, we all knew he was about to drop some shit. Yeah. Like he was gonna say something. You'd be like, God damn, this nigga's going crazy.
Jay-Z said he had to get a look in himself in the mirror when Wayne dropped the remix to that "Show Me What You Got." He said, Jay-Z, this is documented proof.
Right.
He said, yo, I had to take a look in the mirror.
Right.
Because did I want to continuously battle that?
Right.
Or, do I want to take it to another level? He said, that was one of the, biggest spars. Like, whoa, this motherfucker here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it didn't seem, it seemed so effortless.
Yes.
The same way it seemed for Jay. It's like Jordan seeing Kobe like, oh, what the fuck?
Right.
Like, my God.
Right.
You're doing this effortlessly. Like, you didn't try. You just fucking drunk. You just got drunk and off lean and came in here and just did something amazing.
Right.
Amazing.
Right.
So it's like, wow. When you watch that transition, it's like, so definitely Wayne, definitely no doubt about it.
And so, we talked about him before. You got Eminem. I mean, the 2000s. This is when, because it was just, we talked about but like, and as far as lyricists, we might feel a certain way in regards to people that might regard him as the greatest rapper of all time, but lyricists
of the 2000s.
Let's say this: when someone, when they say that you murdered somebody on their own shit,
right, and it's Jay-Z,
and it's facts, and it's Jay-Z, and yeah, I mean, listen, Eminem, that guy is just like, I think I said this before in one of the previous episodes. When it just comes to just pure rapping ability, like, okay, go, that guy, guy was just he's just lights out, you know.
And let's give a lot of credit to Raucous era, Mos Def, Pharoah Monch's, Talib's, because all of those cats, let them, they were all, Kanye was backpacking for those cats. They were all behind Eminem too, all in there, can I rap with y'all? Can I, can I get with y'all, so when these cats, the lineage is so important to be able to pull something from to say, where did you come from? What you stem from?
You know what it is? It's kind of like, I think boxing, when you spar with, Larry Holmes sparred with Ali, and then Larry Holmes became, you know what I mean? So when you're sparring, and I think that's kind of what it was back in in that time, you were really sparring with each other.
Right.
Like you were really like, when I remember when Jay and Big did
Brooklyn's Finest.
Brooklyn's Finest, like they were literally like walking back, pacing, and it was like sparring, and it was going at each other, but not you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was different back then.
I've heard different stories about that. Like I heard that at first they was going back and forth, but then I heard like Clark Kent, who put it together, said Jay went in and did his verses, and Big was like, what the fuck? Like, did he just do? Like, that Big went in. Like,
a lot
Big
of it
was
happened,
like...
If you watch I watch a lot of 90s, older podcasts of 90s joints, a lot of them say, yo, in the 90s, like early 2000s, like, around 2003, it kind of broke down, but that early 90s, see, first of all, you didn't send no song off.
Somebody
was in
there.
Somebody was there. So when you hear, you like, oh, you might have already had it down. Like, I got some fire.
Right.
And you hear somebody kill you, like,
right.
Rewrite your shit.
I'm not ready yet. I'll be right back. I'll use the bathroom. Come back and just, because that, you imagine the process of how many raps they done wrote in their mind.
Right.
Trying to be, that's what makes you so good. Yeah. That would make people, the people we're talking about is because the same like a basketball player. You don't become the best until you get beat so much in your mind, until you beat yourself up so much. Like, fuck that, I'm coming with my best now.
Now, real quick about Eminem, to use an analogy, to me, he's kind of like what Larry Bird was to the NBA. Because you think, white dude, listen, come in here with this bullshit. The same thing they said about Larry Bird, like, this white boy. I don't
know, but Larry Bird in college was the man. So like,
no. But I mean, like when he came to the NBA, and it was we in NBA. This is the, and he was giving dudes the business,
straight business,
like dropping 50, 60, 40, triple double, And I think M was the same way because you kind of like, all right, this is a white dude, And then when he just went in, it was like, oh.
Like, he's a whole problem.
Like, oh.
Yeah, especially in the 2000s.
Yes.
Like,
that was his run. That was when it was just like, yo, Jesus Christ, like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Like,
and then from a sales standpoint, he was the guy that was going platinum in 1 week. You know what I'm saying? Like, so M was definitely a monster.
Man, so that fifth spot, man, and I literally got two names because you got honorable mentions, but I'm gonna say this because what I was doing, I think he's really more slept on in that era. I literally went back and listened to like maybe his first 4 albums yesterday, just so I can, you know what I'm saying, just so I can make sure. And it's tough, but I'm gonna go Game. Lyrically, bro. Game lyrically is.
I'm glad you said it, so I didn't have to. Absolutely.
Problem.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
He's of that Redman lineage. It didn't grow. It didn't grow to after that. But absolutely, mixtapes. Forget his album because he's one of those first 3 albums. 2 people. He's one of those first
documentaries.
The first 3. The first 3 are insane.
Yeah.
With help though, because he came on a great team. You got Dre's, you got 50s, you got M's, all these backing you. It's hard to really lose, and he didn't because you can't drop the ball. There's a lot of people on that team that dropped the ball and didn't do as good as him.
Right.
But he went to mixtapes and was whooping ass. Joe Budden's 500 bars and run. I mean, he wanted a problem with anybody.
Right.
West, East, up north, south. I'm going to bury you. I want you, Wayne. I want you, Shady. I want all of y'all. Who want it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who want it? And he was ready to give it to you. He just, musically, I don't think, and I think all legal issues as well didn't make him grow as well, but I think he got part of the Redman lineage where you from all 2000 you did great. Then after 2010 you just stepped on sound.
Right.
You didn't grow. You didn't let us grow with you for the most part. Not all of us, because I mean he's still doing big on the West Coast. You know what I mean? But all of us is as big as you was. I don't think you let us grow or wanted us to grow with you.
Yeah, and I mean he had to, as far as even just the influence that he, with Nip and Kendrick and helping putting them on. But like he was that guy. I remember when documentary dropped. I remember when it dropped, and at the time people were calling it a classic. And I remember you saying, bro, I just remember so many of these conversations that we had back then. And I remember it being like people calling it a classic when it dropped. And L was like, let's hold off for a second before we call it a classic. But now, years later, we can look back and be like, yo, like documentary.
I think a month later, I was like, or maybe a week later, I was like, yeah,
this shit. I mean, this dude
beats is there, lyrics is there, melody,
production,
the song, everything. Like that's what makes it what it is. That's what makes it.
He had every top producer at that time was on that album.
Yes,
and people can still fumble.
And he was in the G Unit, and G Unit was at their prime. Yeah, it was just the perfect storm.
Nigga said with 2 long heats, I call them Shaq and Alonzo. Y'all niggas want me out of LA. Yeah, I know. Come on, man.
No, he's got a lot of. I mean, his mixtape game for me probably almost supersedes the other stuff because I'm a mixtape guy.
Right.
Like a lot of people I'm gonna name ain't even those are like those are givens, but as people that I'm gonna
real
name
quick, because we still got an era after this. But go ahead with yours.
Okay. All right, mine's for sure. Oh, you finished? Was you done?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I got honorable mention, but we can go on. Like, go. No.
So just without naming what you've named, that's what I'm gonna do right there. Because obviously I'm going to put those people on there as well. But people for me of the 2000s, these are people I was saying I had a hard time because a lot of these cats came in mid 90s, late 90s.
Okay.
But I think that Shine, I got to get my brother Jadakiss.
That's what I knew.
I don't know any
Kiss is still doing it now.
Right now.
Shit.
I'm talking about if I took the 90s mixtape, if you'd allowed me, if he would have came out in 1990, he would be somebody that I would have said 2 eras for me. But because he came out really hard, like they were early 90s, but it wasn't really it.
Right.
But Kiss, ran right around 97, right before Big Papa died. And man, they had a mixtape joint. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then every mixtape he's ever dropped. Now the problem with Jadakiss for me is that he doesn't have a lot of great solo albums. You got to go under the surface. He's a Cool G lineage. He's a Redman lineage. Yeah. I'm not going to be shiny for you to like me.
Right.
You want to like me? Come up under here. See what the fuck I'm doing. Him and Styles. Oh my God. I mean, together back to back.
It's crazy.
I can't get enough of them. I was looking through my playlist last night, and like how I was just telling you, you got certain ears. Oh, this is for sure. In my motherfucking playlist. Even when I set up different lists, it's still the same motherfuckers. I'm like, let me try to get out of this one. It's still these motherfuckers.
Them two is in, like as far as
straight lyricists for 2000, and I'm giving them from 98 to probably to still
now.
Going on.
Kiss,
That
Loso.
was my other one. I had that last spot. Gave it Fab.
Again, another person for me that doesn't have that many. You might have one classic album, maybe 1.5, but mixtape unfreaking
killer,
deniable. There is not one bad mixtape he's ever dropped in his freaking life. I've never heard of it anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
and I mean,
Fab
as far as bars go, I don't even want to stop for doing this. I don't want to stop on Jadakiss bar. I don't want to stop because I'd be here all fucking night if I gave you any one of these bars. Pusha.
Ooh.
I wanted to give him a little bit of 80s, 90s, but sure, there ain't a. The problem is mainstream again. These are not people that you. And this was the funny thing when I was, it's hard when I argue because I'm such an underground. I have the reply that people be like, when the last time you heard Pusha? Like when they were like, oh, before Drake, the nigga was just on the hottest song of the year 2 years ago with Future. Young nigga push that dope. Young nigga push that. That was the hottest song of the year. So when people say where was he at before, he been there every year, brother.
The whole time.
Every year.
And he bodied Drake, so
absolutely. But we're gonna lose fans with that one. But for sure,
he bodied Drake.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then rounding out my hold on, did I have a? Because I didn't really have a girl for the 2000 per se.
I think there's one name y'all leaving.
So I got. This is just my. I think I was on 3.
Okay.
Black Thought.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't know anything when he comes on. He's in one of those exhibits, one of those such.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a song right now with him, Pusha T, and Killer Mike. I listen
to it every day.
Oh my,
Good morning.
Oh my God, this song will damage anything you're trying. Like if you got something you ready to get done, you play that song right fucking at 5 in the morning, and that shit will go retarded. I mean, like I don't know of a feature or a song, and he really deserved credit for the '90s. You know what I mean? But because the '90s was so multifaceted, they had what they do, never do what they, they come from the Tribe era. There's a whole lineage of what they come from. But that cat right there is insanity. Yeah. Now to round off, King fucking Jaffe Joffa of 2000, Cameron, Killer. Fucking Cam of 2000. Mixtape of 2000 because we had G-Unit, D-Block, and Dipset.
Because after
all of 2000 belong to Cam.
I'm with you on Cam. Then I think it was after the Dip album, the first Dip album. Then he started kind of he started talking.
Doobies.
Yeah, he started
you gotta go riddles.
That's what the mainstream looked like. So I agree. But if you judge Cam on his mainstream, it's the same way you got to judge Jadakiss and Fab because they mainstream don't do that great.
Cam
but
at one point,
if you left the mainstream and said, "Let me go see what Cam talking about," why all these people really love Cam.
Right.
Oh my God,
that Come Home With Me album.
No, hold on. See, Sports, Drugs, Entertainment album.
Right before we
motherfucking the entire mixtape Dipset mixtape.
Cam was.
I mean,
Cam was so
for me,
Early Cam.
Early Cam.
Jada, Fab. And this is 2000. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah. I got
Jada,
you.
Fab, and Cam. Like there was just and Lloyd Banks at the time as well. But he didn't. I don't think he grew all the way to the 2010 for the majority to bring him up. Like he's a good honorable maybe, but Cam for sure. His name is still large and relevant right now. He can drop a freestyle right now, and it's still going to get tuned in.
I'm just going to throw two names out there real quick. So I know we gotta advance on, but Luda. Gotta put
he was one of my honorable mentions.
Ludacris, Bart.
He was one of the ones for that.
Luda, and I gotta go Chi-Town. I gotta throw Common out there.
Yep.
Common, absolutely. Right. When we talking about Cube, he whooped Cube's ass. I don't know. He whooped Cube's ass.
And he whooped Drake's ass with a little. He got a good hit on Drake.
Yeah. He got a little hit on Drake.
He got a little hit on Drake.
Hit a little hit on Drake. But
Beanie Siegel for honorable.
Beanie
Mace
for sure.
And Mace.
90s Mace.
90s Mace was,
Murder
Mace? Murder Mace?
Bring him up for the 90s.
Not Mace, Murder Mace.
I give that,
yeah. All right, so with, so going into the 2010s, so all right, going into the 2010s, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and pop it off. We already know the king of the decade, you know what I'm saying, Drizzy Drake, you know what I'm saying, like lyrically. This is when like he dropped 2000.
Put Drake lyrically.
Well, I think we can start. We can put
Song-wise,
him in there.
How you not going to put Drake lyrically?
There's too many writers.
Hold on, man. I don't know about that. I mean, all right. So they were talking.
This is proven. This is not a not going Drake song wise. He's the man.
No,
fucking the man.
All right,
but
so enlighten me on that whole situation. Was it that he might have took like a hook or you know, it's one thing I'm talking about.
There was literally written for him.
Literally, so entire songs
written
made for him.
Yeah,
the boy got beat up.
Yeah,
the boy got beat up for exposing it.
You
see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the boy got literally on fucked up.
My whole thing with that though is that that was what year did all that come to light? That was
it came to light
like 2015, 2014, somewhere.
Yeah, it came to light later.
It's all in 2010 minutes. It's all in that. It's in that.
So they're saying from start to finish from 2010.
Well, he going on his 10th year. We only 21 right now, so we ain't got nothing. We ain't got nothing else but that on him.
All right.
But I'll say this. I'll say this because that is one of the things that's going to. I think that's one of the things that's always going to that we're going to look at as far as his legacy. But he writes. He does write. Like
So does
like
Kanye.
you know.
So I agree. I agree. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. We can't Harold Miner you. You got to be here for the long run for me.
For the long run, Drake.
Lyrically, no song making. There is nobody better. Lyrically. If I gotta see if your hottest joint was made by you, I can't. You see what I'm saying? That's not a diss. I just need to know if your hot. I know the people I named.
We're gonna
their
put
hottest shit was wrote by
Drake's
them.
name.
The hottest shit they wrote was wrote by them. I don't know that about Kanye. I don't know that about Drake.
Come to Drake's defense. Anyone that knows me, L's going for Drake's defense?
That's my only point. Was if I gotta ask you, did you write your hottest shit?
That's a good point though.
For me, then I can't no longer say this is because I don't know if you did.
That's a good point.
I don't know if you did.
No, it's a great point.
Good point.
All right, so and now since they're linked forever, I put Pusha T in this list. You know what I'm saying? As far as 2010s, he could have went in the 2000s because that's when he was running with the clips. But as far as the 2010s, it's when he was dropping all his solo joints in. I have yet to hear a whack Pusha T verse. Like he's one of my favorite rappers. Like right now to this day, like he's one of my favorite guys. To where it's just like, let me hear what Pusha. If I see him on the feature or something, I'm like, I gotta hear what Pusha's about to say. Like you know,
facts.
And you said, I think you mentioned for songwriting, but I got to go Rose, man, in 2010s, bro. Like lyrically,
he's just not my lyricist. I love these people. Let's be clear. I am not hating these people, but song making. If we ever did a song people that make drop songs, there's no denying for me with them. Absolutely.
I'm a Mike Tyson typewriter, sniper. Yo, Rose, bro, like
he got some bars,
lyrically,
man. I give him to and he writes stuff. I never heard nobody ghostwrite or something. So
right, he writes for everybody.
Yeah, I can give him his credit, but I just
man,
I feel you. I feel you.
Let's see, Drake, Pusha T, Rose, and then we got K Dot. You know what I'm saying? K Dot lyrically, I mean, this dude is out here winning Pulitzer prizes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Kendrick, man.
Kendrick is something else, man.
And Kendrick, and then it's kind of hard to mention Kendrick without mentioning Cole.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Them two, I can go on for days about them two. They give me the feeling that I had in the 90s.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They just I don't want to go on a tangent. Those two, all day.
Right. Go ahead and get you guys, you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to throw a name out there real quick, and I thought about this last night. Big Sean.
Absolutely.
Big fucking
Absolutely.
Sean.
First album's insane.
Big
Actually, all his
Sean.
albums are insane.
That dude.
Underrated, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think he's
Bars,
underrated. I think
is.
I really haven't listened to his albums, but like when you get on the feature and you listen to you like, yo, Sean be spitting some shit.
If you listen to his first album, he made me a believer. And this was a time where I was one of those people that was always critical on people. Around the 2010s, I already had my mindset. I already knew what I liked. I was a big Cameron kid. If you ain't coming with nothing like that, I'm going to criticize you. And I tried my best, and I could do nothing but play that fucking album over and over and over again. Over and over again. But I mean, again, I might not get into a mixtape world or something like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Far as dropping very great, not good, great music, classic music, classic. I'm gonna use the word classic. The classic word I'm gonna use. His first album is an absolute classic.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it.
You absolute classic. I mean, from beginning to end, hardly maybe no skips. Maybe none.
Go with yours, because I just wanted to throw him out there.
Will you finish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we're gonna go with people that we're crediting based on we don't know whether they wrote their hottest shit or not, right? So I'm just gonna throw this in there as an honorable mention because we used the Drakes in the joint.
Right.
Who comes from that same thing? Right. Nicki.
Yes. Nicki.
That came back for rapping hard, and she wrote a lot of her shit. A lot of her shit is not always wrote for her as well. But as far as that's my only part with her, like I would have to ask her, did you write your hottest this shit? That's
You
but if she did, question. Oh my fucking god,
Nicki.
If she did,
Nicki,
you know
I was having this conversation. I said, a lot of people don't respect because Nicki been going over a decade now.
Yeah, it has been a decade.
Yeah, it has been a decade.
Well, we into everybody we name right now, you know.
And I think with her, like, and I wanted to. That's why I definitely, as far as that whole female topic, because with Nicki, I think she really stunted, really at the top of the decade when she came out, when she was on the Monsterverse with Hov and Kanye. And a lot of people say she stole the show.
She did.
So it's kind of like, at that point, you kind of like, you got to put her in that. And I think with me, it's just with Nicki, I've never questioned whether or not she's writing her raps, especially not when she's like always talking about other people that don't write their raps. You know what I'm saying? I think her pen game is crazy. Right. With me, it's just with Nicki, sometimes it depends on what Nicki you get. Like when the Nicki, if it's the,
she's also speaking from a woman's point of view, so everything we won't resonate. We
well,
don't
not
resonate
even the
that.
woman part. Not even the woman part. Just kind of like when she go, she's got that Redman, that Eminem style where she can kind of. When she just is like on some, I'm just about to just straight spit some heat. She can kill it, but then sometimes she goes into the. I want the Barbie. That's
why I said about women, because that come. She's also fans of 7-year-old girls.
Yeah. So she her fan base
exactly.
is different.
It's not for you no more.
But to be able to change up your delivery, and I mean, to me, that's special.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Nicki.
Yeah.
And since we're going from a full spectrum of 2010 to 20, I gotta throw in these cats a little bit more later, like I would say 15 on out. Right. But the whole Griselda camp for me.
Okay.
That's just right now where I'm at when I'm trying to go for my boom bap, when I'm trying to go through that lineage. There's nothing else I go to at this point. Like, it's got to be Benny. I mean, Benny just dropped the album right now. Yeah. Oh my God! It got to the credit. He got a song with Wayne and Big Sean.
Yeah, that's fire.
And then he's on a joint on T.I.'s new album with Jada Kiss.
Go hard.
Oh man, that's a guy we forgot to mention. T.I. Yeah,
I had him on that was my honorable mention for in the 2000s. I actually had him on the list, and then I took him off because of Game. Because I was before I listened to Game's albums, I started listening back to Urban Legend. So I had T.I. on the list. So sorry, T.I. Like Game got you.
And these a lot of cats that ain't been said. Trust me, it's too many of y'all.
It's so many.
It's just too many of y'all that we and our playlist reflect. But our plays do reflect you guys. But and besides Griselda, I'm gonna give it to the baby. Lyrically, I've been a fan lyrically of the babies since day one. Since the day somebody put him in my ears. I don't know when he actually came out, but the day that somebody introduced me to him, I was again trying to be critical. Oh, he wearing a pimp. I'm about to be critical. I'm getting ready to be critical. That motherfucker ain't dropped nothing that I couldn't say that I put him toe to toe with one of my best. One of my best.
When he don't want to do no silly shit, when he just want to go rap,
I don't even know that he doing this again. A lot of stuff is mainstream. You see what I'm saying? So you got to sell records.
Silly, I say it.
Well, no, I agree with you, but the same thing that judging like Jada Kisses and Fabulous. For me, I'm like, man, none of them mainstream shit do anything for me. Almost none of it. None of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but everything under the world, I don't know anybody that can compete with them for me. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about them. I feel like the baby, he's done both for me. Like as far as starting this millennium, this decade off.
Right. Yeah.
I don't have nothing that I can say. I'm talking about when I hear him on white people pop shit, when I hear him on Latin shit, when I've heard him on regular hardcore shit, when I heard him on New York shit.
You want to hear what he's going to say.
Man, that boy is dropping some motherfucking bars. There ain't no denying
shout out to the baby.
Dropping ability of that boy. Is
hometown hero.
Absolutely.
Right there, you know.
Sure. There you go. But I mean, as far as the other people, they all are interjective. They people that was been around for years, and those are still in my 2010 on up. So, but everybody just those are the and there's a YMB Corday, Chance the Rapper. These are a lot of cats. I know you're gonna get into him. You're gonna get into him because he can do it. If you love Kanye, give him a chance because that is Kanye.
I listen.
That is the actual sprawl. Like because he's talking, you got to just give him a chance. You can't listen to it for what you've seen on the mainstream. That's the thing about mainstream.
Maybe I gotta listen to his mixtape.
When mainstream give you something, you got that in your mind about that person, and it's hard. Like look at Mobb Deep's mainstream songs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What mainstream songs do they have?
Like after when the 90s they was good, but when they would start going on the boats and there was a lot of shit.
Well, I'm about to say It's Mine.
No.
Which was pretty decent.
I think
that's decent. But
I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, like when they got with like G Unit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's what you're gonna judge them off of, depending on which age, what era you come from. So I'm saying mainstream sometimes when you have to sell the record. That doesn't. If you were a fan or you really want to listen to these cats, and again, it's been times that I've had to really listen to people because I'm like, damn, I'm not a fan of this mainstream shit at all. But let me see what you can do because you might have said something that might have caught my ear. I'm like, was that a Harold Minor or you really got it? You know what I'm saying?
I tell you somebody, just when you say like the mainstream side of it, but when I actually heard them, when you hear them spit, like Wale, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like you might hear his mainstream songs on the radio and this and that, but when he want to get down, you be like, hey, wait a minute. Like,
no, Wale,
like he goes extremely hard with the bars.
Lupe is another one.
Yeah, Lupe
but you got to not want to be in.
I'm surprised you ain't mentioned your man's Meek.
I was only arguing about Meek for me being better than Joe Budden. That was my argument that day.
Wait, what?
That was my argument that day.
Yeah, exactly.
I still feel that way.
I'm surprised. I was waiting for you to say throw Meek Mill name out there.
I don't put Meek in the top lyricist.
No disrespect to Meek.
I was arguing with somebody that I felt that Meek was better, and I still feel like Meek for me.
Man, I could have
sworn
me and you had a going back a couple years ago about Meek. I can't remember.
It was about that time.
I have to go dig it up.
I promise you,
I
that's
gotta
what
go
it
to
was.
archives. But I know you was a Meek dude for a minute.
Oh, I like Meek. Hold on, that's not. I'm saying I would never put him top 5 lyrically nowhere.
Okay, all right.
My argument that day, I had about 500 comments of all being everybody saying you tripping. I'm like, damn, really?
You tripping?
I thought for
Meek
sure
is lyrically better than Joe Budden's.
That was.
I got one last name to shut it down for y'all boys.
Which era?
2010s.
Okay.
Tekashi 6ix9ine, my
that's
man.
Gonna shut it down. And on that note,
on that note,
gotta go.
That was a joke.
April
Fool's Day joke.
Got to go on that one.
On that note, we're gonna shut it down. But man. So this is fun. So we definitely see where we got to go as far as some of the different future topics and everything like that. But I feel like for the most part, like you say, some of these names, man, I think we definitely agree on, and they kind of some of the people. We can actually that go through different eras. Mm-hmm. I mean, even if you just want to say album-wise, I mean, with everybody else, you can put Hov in the 10s because you put you got he dropped 444, the Holy Grail album. You see what I'm saying? He dropped the Watch the Throne. You see what I'm saying?
You got that verse with on Entrepreneur with Pharrell, which is the same.
The verses on Drake's joints. I don't know why Drake puts him on songs because he just takes over. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
You know what I'm saying? So like even like that, and I think that just stands to Hov's greatness to where it's like you can put him in the top lyricists of the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but with that, we're going to shut this one down, man. Top 5 lyricists of each era from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. Yes, sir. Let's make history, and we out.
Sir.
Peace.